Hey everybody, what is up? It is the Wildman, Chris Wilds, back in the saddle again for another red hot edition of the OHIO podcast Monday night call-in show. But today, guys, is not every other day. It's not just simply any other episode, folks. It's a special one. We want to kick things off by wishing everyone a happy Memorial Day. Let's remember and honor the brave men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we can enjoy days like this filled with family, freedom, football talk, and of course, fantastic food fresh off the grill. Who could forget that? We got a great show on hand tonight. We're going to talk some Buckeyes. Maybe we're going to talk about some cheaters up north. It's kind of all up to you, however you want to take this thing. Let me remind you, we are the official podcast of Scarlet and Game and Fansided. That's right. We've teamed up with the best in the biz there, and head on over and you can go to scarletandgame.com where you can read articles from some tremendous journalists, including our very own gridiron guru, Buckeye Boggs. We are also the official Ohio State podcast of the College Huddle, home to over 80 podcasts covering every corner of college football imaginable. Head on over to the College Huddle. Check them all out. Now, Pod Squad, you know the drill. Let's go ahead. Let's make sure we smash that like button. Like, subscribe, ring that bell if you're watching it on YouTube. It really does help us with the algorithm. And we want to make sure that more Buckeye fans like yourselves get a chance to call in, talk with us here on the OHIO podcast. Also, hey, if you really love what we do, consider becoming a member. It's only $3.99 a month. You get a free membership after your first renewal. You get free shipping on all the merch from our online store. Guys, you get special behind the wall content, including our exclusive recruiting breakdowns, and coming soon, free digital access to our Big Ten preview magazine. And of course, if you want to show your support for the show throughout tonight's show more directly, go ahead and drop us a super chat. Every dollar helps. We spend about $30 every episode just to keep this thing running, and your support through memberships and super chats is what keeps us afloat and keeps this format open for you to have a voice as fans. So now that we've taken care of that business, guys, let's get down to it. What's on your mind tonight, Buckeye Nation? Are we going to talk Buckeyes? Are we going to talk about cheaters up north? Whatever we're going to talk about, guys, this is what I want from you. In honor of Memorial Day, I want to know your number one picnic barbecue food item, and then the one food item that you absolutely cannot stand for a barbecue. So before we hop on the phones, and man, the phones are hopping already. It looks like we got 3 in queue. Guys, we have 5 lines. Let's keep them lit up all night long. Oh, there goes number 4. So just keep them coming. But let's take a quick look through the chat here before we get started. I know I saw Steely was in here. Very first thing. Love that. Also, Tyler. Man, Tyler was in here early on. Andre, see you in the chat. Lacey, great to see you again. Eric, all right. Looks like the College Huddle page is in here. So thank you, Eric, for stopping in tonight. We got Buck Vader in the house. We also have Brandon's in the house with us tonight as well. Sean Schrock. Sean, one of the co-hosts of the Buckeye Lounge, of course, with TG. It looks like he is in the chat as well, and coming soon to the phone line near you. Looks like TG is up as our first caller just to kind of get things started right. Alex Martin's in the chat. Alex, great to see you here, as well as Mimi. All right. So, guys, let's do this thing. Let's get this out. The Boston Buckeye. Missed that one as well. All right. Aaron, I see you in the chat as well. Aaron, I did get my plaque. Thank you very much. It is lovely. I appreciate it very much. Okay, let's get things started. We got TG in the house, starting things off right out of the gate. TG, what's going on this gorgeous day?
Hey, what up, Chris? Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun tonight.
All right, what you got in store for us tonight, TG? How you want to take this thing?
Well, right now I'm gonna start off with the Buckeyes, then we're gonna talk about the Chiefs, and I'm gonna
Okay.
have an announcement at the end.
Oh, I love
Like
big
I know that now
announcements.
a little bit. All right, so first we can talk about the Buckeyes. How do you feel about this roster to start?
How do I feel about what? I'm sorry.
How do you feel about our roster?
Our
This
roster?
team is what
Yeah,
I mean.
I love this
hmm
roster, TG. I think that offensively, believe it or not, I think we can be more powerful than we were last season. Uh, Obviously, it comes down to how fast Julian Sand progresses. But I'm telling you, I really love the firepower we have on this roster. I think this offensive line really started to come together. And yeah, we lost some big pieces, but we got a lot of guys with experience playing in big games now. We have an offensive coaching staff that I think is second to none right now. Defensively, I was hesitant at first, but I'm really liking what I'm hearing about Matt Patricia. And obviously, I love Laurinaitis. I love what Walton's got going on. I think we have potential to have a very, very good defense as well. Will it be as good as last year? That's a big challenge to step up to, but I think it has the talent to be. So right now, I'm loving this. I absolutely love this. What we've got in Columbus right now, and it seems like with every recruit we get, with every transfer we get, man, it's just the right fit. Everything seems like the right fit. Ryan Day and his coaching staff right now, TG, in my opinion, for all the criticism that I gave him over the last couple of years, specifically in regards to
Rightfully
the
so.
cheaters up north, but everything he is doing is clicking. It's right. I'm here to tell you I was wrong, and I've never been so happy to say it. I really, really feel like he's got it going on in Columbus right now. And don't be surprised
Yep.
if this team is not competing this year for another national title.
Oh, they will be. And the reason I asked this question is because this is because back to your show that you guys did on the roundtable with your what was the guest name again?
Oh, with wow, it was one day ago, TG. One day ago. I'm old and
Yeah.
senile, and clearly I've forgotten this. I remember the
Well, I
initials were
forgot his name
DS.
too. Yeah, but I remember I forgot his name too, but that's why I bring this up because I watched you guys and you guys talked about Penn State in particular about the whole, why people view them as the
Yeah,
national champion. And if you see my comments, I said they're overrated, and the amount of talent they brought back is completely overrated. And I want to dive into this.
yeah,
I am literally going to. I could end up slapping myself in the face when I say this, or end up proving to be wrong. But I think it's heavily overrated with some of the teams that have brought back talent because I get that Michigan and Ohio State. For granted, with Michigan, you have a cheating scandal, but put that aside for now. But with Michigan and Ohio State, with what they did as far as bringing back all the talent, you have to look at all the other X factors that led to them getting their national titles.
okay,
Recruiting and what they did in the portal. Because look at the 2024 team of Ohio State, right? Mainly them, because scum, I'm never going to recognize your national title. But if you strictly even just look at both teams from this perspective, look at what Ohio State did. They brought back all their NFL talent, right?
right,
Right? So you bring all those guys back. Then what you do? You go into the portal, you get the best player in the portal in Caleb Down.
yes,
Then you get the next best player in Quinshawn Junkin.
mm-hmm.
Then you get Will Howard, Seth McLaughlin, Will Kazmarek, Julian Sand, Keenan Nelson, Jake McGuire, and a couple other little pieces. I think one of them is Sean Logue for special teams. Like you get a couple of guys for special teams for depth reasons, and you fill those gaps in. All right, but it's not just what they did in the portal; it's what they did in recruiting. Because guess what else they brought in? Aaron Scott Jr.,
Yes,
Bryce West, Jalen McLean. You got Arvell Reese and Peyton
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 Pierce.
Pierce. You also brought in a generational prospect in Jeremiah Smith. You brought in James Peoples. You brought in Mylene Graham. You brought in Max LeBlanc and Damian Ridden. You brought in some talent that could help either immediately or could even help you as far as on specialties. Like they could do the little things on this team.
Yes.
When I look at what Ohio State did with that roster, it's not just the fact they brought back talent. It's the fact that they upgraded because they brought in the best players. You brought in a generational player in Jeremiah Smith, who was the best player in college football as a freshman, which is how ridiculous. And we just got off Marvin Harrison Jr. Then you bring in Caleb Downs, who's the best defensive player, and in my opinion, the second best player in all of college football. Then you bring in other transfer portal players such as Seth McGloddon, Will Howard, and Quinshon Judkins, who all played a big role in helping Ohio State win a national title. You filled in holes in the recruiting in the portal. With Penn State, what did they do? Same with Clemson. Now, I think Clemson has a better chance of getting upward because I actually trust Dabo Swinney more than I would ever trust Jay Franklin. I don't care what anybody says. We could all ridicule Dabo Swinney. At least the dude got over the hump. At least he's shown he can win national titles. At least he's shown he can put together a roster that can compete. And he got back to the college football playoffs and gave Texas a run for their money. Yes. So at least I can say that this dude actually can bring Clemson back. And he actually does have a good enough roster to do so, even though I still think he has some holes that he needs to do in transfer portal, but he did do a little bit of work in the transfer portal. So I can't be overly critical of Clemson, but I still got to see more out of that team for me to believe they're national title contenders or even just like that. They could do more than what they did last year. Penn State, I would like, dude, it doesn't matter what they've done. Like, yes, you brought back all this talent, but what else did you do? You brought in wide receivers. You brought in wide receivers. Think about it like this. You brought in wide receivers, but those wide receivers are still subpar compared to, like, it's no different. Like, yeah, you may be a little better, but not really. You lost Tyler Warren, so whichever one of your tight ends are going to step up, that's completely up to you. And plus, your wide receiver coach is so trash. I don't know if you're going to get any more out of those wide receivers than what they've done in previous years. Then you go to your defensive side of the ball. Like, listen, Kaytron Allen and Kaytron Allen and Nick Singleton, I respect them as running backs, but they're not trained Quinshon. I respect them, but they're not trained Quinshon. Like, they're not the best running backs in my opinion. I think they're good running backs. I just think they're heavily overrated. And Drew Aller, I think he's a good quarterback, but people need to stop acting like as if he's this elite. Could he get better? Sure, but I'm not sure about that. Their offensive line, this is all their second year together. So, hey, at least you got something coming back on your line, but I don't expect much. And then when you go to your defense, you got Jim Knowles as your D coordinator. You would think it would help you, but the reality is
3 years. It takes 3 years, TG.
Your defense is going to take a step back. It takes 3 years. Like, Ohio State had way more talent on the defense, and it took 3 years for the defense to come together. 3 years. And think about it. You had elite level NFL talent from the secondary to the D-line to the linebacker.
Right.
Like Cody Simon, Sonny Styles was great. You got freaking our defensive line. I don't care how much people ridicule them. I've said it countless times. The defensive scheme did not allow them to do what they want to do as pass rushers. So they had to do they were just playing in the scheme. And the secondary, dude, they were the best in college football. I don't care what anybody says. BIA for a reason. But when you look at Penn State, like, yes, you got good players, but they're not Ohio State level good, if you get what I mean. Because compare their current 2025 roster to 2024. It's uncomparable. And you didn't do anything in recruiting. You really didn't do anything in the portal to upgrade. And like I said, you got Knowles. And I've seen people like this, myself and Sean have talked about this. We see particular Penn State podcasters kind of talk about this. When we hear the stories about Jim Knowles, we now realize that Ohio State got rid of him because he didn't fit their culture.
Yes.
Ryan Day, as we all know, has a culture. This applies to his coaches to upkeep that standard. He cannot tell the players to do it, and none of his coaches don't do it. He's going to hold his coaches to the same standard as he does his players, saying uphold this culture. So, and no offense to Knowles, but the more I hear about you, the more I realize, dude, you are such a loser. You are such a butthurt loser. I'm sorry. Thank you for the national title, but my goodness, dude, the more I hear about you, the more Team Larry Johnson I was. The more. So with Penn State, I just think they're heavily overrated. I don't think they're going to win a national title. I don't think they're national title contenders. I don't think they're this elite team. I think they're just a good team. I think they're going to be the team they've always been. They're going to find a way to screw it up in big games. They act like November 1st. It's like, what's funny is you guys had the same thing happen in 2021 against the worst version of Ohio State, where you had with the worst defensive coordinator Ohio State had a year, Kerry Cohn running that defense, and C.J. Stroud being a first-time starter. Y'all still found a way to lose that game and get dominated by Ohio State. Then you think you're going to win this game when the defense might actually, in my opinion, from everything I hear, could be better than what it was last year because of these little wrinkles Matt Patricia's added that makes this defense even more deadly. And the fact that he's able to make the defensive line do things that, that he won't constrain them. He'll actually allow them to do stuff. And he will play to the strength of his players. And not only that, but the defensive coaching staff as a whole is aligned because Matt Patricia talked about it. He has history with Larry, James, and Tim. He has history with these guys. Then he got a chance to learn about Matt Gary. Matt Gary loves Matt Patricia and loves learning from him. He said it out of his own mouth. And all the other coaches on the defensive staff, they love him. Oh, and Matt Patricia is also familiar with Brian Harline, whether people know that or not. So I think with Ohio State, I think this 22-5 team, I think this defense will be elite. I really do believe they have a chance to be elite in 2025. And I believe this offense will be good. I think he'll struggle a little bit, but I think if Ohio State can run the ball, because I believe the strength is the offensive line right now, is run the ball and use the run to open up the pass. But if Shane can handle himself, you can use pass to open up the run, but you got to make it easier for him by giving him little easy stuff. And I think we can go back to back. Now, am I 100% on that? No, I'm about a 90 to 95%. I want to see how the nose tackles position is with not Tyreek, but Caden McDonald, and see how Will Smith Jr. is going to hold up, because I want to see if when Caden McDonald comes out, will we not have a drop off? That's the only position I'm worried about in D-line is just the nose tackle. If that turns out to be good, then I'm good. We're good.
Yeah. So let me ask you, TG, if you had to choose, you've got Julian Sayin, you got Drew Aller, you have Clay, you got Kubrick from Clemson. Which of those three are you taking to start your season this year? Because for me, it's Sayin all the way. I think that Drew Aller is good, but I feel like he's at his ceiling. I don't think he's ever going to be elite. I think he could be great, but not elite. I think Sayin can be elite. Klubnik, I just don't trust rather, because you never know what you're going to get out of him from one game to the next. So
yeah, that's what I would say. Julian Sayin, because even though he is not as proven, you see with him what you saw in C.J. Stroud. I'm not trying to say he is C.J. Stroud, but you can see where there's similarities between them. So,
wow, that's a lot to put on that young man right there.
No, I'm not trying to say he is C.J. Stroud. I'm saying there's similarities. Even the players like Denzel Burke and them, they've all talked about it, saying there's some similarities. And if you even listen to the coaches, they say it's his processing ability, his ability to learn, his ability to understand and retain information. Like, that's something that CJ did. And his passing is just pinpoint accurate. The only thing he has to work on is when pressure gets in his face to just zip the ball and not take so much air out of it. Yeah. That's the only thing he has to do, is just learn how to do better under pressure. But from everything I'm hearing, he is doing better. Now, again, I want to see it for myself, but that's the only thing he has to work on. But other than that, he's more like, he is a lot similar. I think that with Sayin, he'll grow as the season goes on. I think like CJ and like all the other first-time quarterbacks we've had, the first-time starters, they will make mistakes early a little, but then they'll correct themselves, they'll learn, they'll fix it, and they'll be better. My only ask is for Ohio State fans to please don't turn on Julian Sayin after like the first incompletion or the first mistake. Please don't.
We can be a fickle bunch, can't we, TG?
Yeah.
we have members of our fan base that can be a little bit fickle from time to time. So hey, I know you wanted to talk about the cheaters up north. We've got a full bank of calls, but I think we can get about another 5-6 minutes in there for you if you want to jump on that.
Yeah, real quick. Hey, scum, hammer coming. You fools are going down. And from everything I'm hearing, oh man, it seems like they are panicking like no tomorrow.
And they should be, TG. They really should be. I mean, if you look at the list of people who have been let go over this thing, if you look at everything this is encompassing, it's not just us anymore. It's not just us. It's the national media that's now starting to get on board. It's other places
Yeah.
saying, you know what? This has to happen.
It was
And
super funny. It all started because of Ohio State fans never letting this die.
that's right. But no one should let this die. This is, I mean, you look at this. This is such a complex web of allegations spanning recruiting violations, unethical conduct, serious cyber crimes, potential gambling ties. That this upcoming hearing is going to be so pivotal in determining not only the future of Michigan athletics, but I think determining the future of the NCAA itself.
Oh yeah,
They have to make a stand here because if they don't, I think they go away.
they will.
And I
Oh,
think
they will. They know this.
I think as this situation unfolds, the ramifications on that team up north is going to be a long lasting impact on not only the program's reputation, but obviously its future ability to be competitive. I don't see this
Oh, trust me.
as anything that this is not something they're going to walk away from. All right, real quick before I let you
They're
go,
not.
I got to know best barbecue item, one thing that doesn't belong at a picnic or barbecue.
One thing that doesn't belong at a picnic or a barbecue.
Give me your favorite item, and the worst thing, the thing you say does not belong.
All right, my favorite item is barbecue sauce. The honey barbecue sauce, actually. That is my favorite item. The worst thing anybody's ever bought to a barbecue for me is legit fish.
Okay, awesome. All right, TG, I'm gonna let you go. I've got a full bank of calls. I will talk to you later. What's going on tomorrow night on the Buckeye Lounge?
Oh, tomorrow, that's what I'm going to get into. Tomorrow night on the Buckeye Lounge, we got a super special guest coming on to the Buckeye Lounge. You guys will actually, I won't say his name now, but I will employ everyone that if you are subscribed to the OHIO podcast, Eric will put the thumbnail up and the picture of the person who will be on the interview, who will be on the show with myself and Sean. So look at that video, and I'm telling you right now, look at that thumbnail and make sure that after Buckeye Scoop, you guys don't want to miss a single second of it because you guys have been clamoring for this for a while, and myself and Sean will give it to you straight up. It's going to be fire. And for Michigan fans, you're going to be crying like a bunch of weeks.
Oh, TG, I've got a feeling. I got a feeling I know what you got going on. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I got a feeling I know what you're going with.
Yep. Like I said, just check out the thumbnail when Eric puts up the video on the just look at the thumbnail and you'll see who the guest is.
All
You'll
right.
put it up tomorrow morning.
TG, I'm gonna have to let you go because the Penn State guy is telling me, guess what? Our lines are ringing busy. We got a full bank of calls. All right. Hey, have a great one, TGOH.
IO.
Go Bucks. As always, a great call from TG. We're going to roll on out to the 330. Looks like we got Tyler coming up next on the line. Maybe. If it goes over, let's try it again. Tyler, you there, my man? What's happening?
Yes, I am.
I always feel bad for whoever has to follow TG, myself included. Yeah, you know?
Yep.
So what's happening?
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm just peach keen, jelly bean. I'm feeling it. It's a great day. I mean, I was outside today. It was gorgeous. Got to work outside a little bit. Got to catch up on a little bit of Buckeye news as I was kind of sitting here relaxing this evening. Got to have great burgers, man. My wife hooked up some awesome burgers on the for us tonight, and I'll tell you, I'm feeling a little heavy in the belly right now, though. So,
I cooked some burgers this evening too, Chris.
oh yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
So, but did you know who's not doing great today,
Who's
Chris?
not doing great
And
today, Tyler?
lately, all of Michigan men.
Well, you know, how could they be, Tyler? I mean, this program is. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it at this point. Oddly enough, it all started with a burger, Tyler,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe a
That's the
booger in Jim
funny
Harbaugh's
part. Is
case. But
so that's the funny part. I just realized too. You brought up what great foods are for
yeah,
that we eat on Memorial Day, and we talk about burgers. Michigan man,
absolutely.
this all started with a burger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it all started because Jim Harbaugh, the nice guy that he is, decided he was going to buy some recruits some burgers, man. And of course, the problem with that is when you're doing it during the COVID-19 dead period, when you're not allowed to have any contact with recruits, not such a great idea. Just it's just not.
You know what? I didn't get the chance to tell you this, you guys this. You know what I've come to find out with said recruit? You
What's
know
that?
who it was?
Who was it?
George Fitzpatrick.
My boy probably could put away more than one burger.
Our backup offensive lineman who went to the transfer portal and went to what, Kansas State. That's who Harbaugh met that had the cheeseburger.
Wow. Wow.
So, so it gets even more like it's even crazier when you realize that one of our backup offensive linemen had to meet Harbaugh for in the morning for a cheeseburger.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this and it's sad. It started out with something so little and they could have avoided all this by just coming clean. But no, they thought they were better than everyone else. They thought they were above reproach. They thought they were above the system. Well, they're going to find out on June 6th and 7th that no one is above the system, Tyler.
So here's another question that's always perplexed me. It's the fact that so where mentally ingrained do Michigan men think they are better than everyone?
They like to think of themselves as this elite academic group, but let's face it, they can't hold a candle to Northwestern or I'll even say it, even Notre Dame. Um, you know, I think Michigan is they're probably a top five academic school in the Midwest. I don't dispute that. But what does that mean? What does it really mean? No. And they think that their elite status should exempt them from any rules as it pertains to football, I guess. I don't know, or basketball or any kind of athletics. Because, it's not just a football program. That whole athletic program is running wild up there. And it has been for
So then,
years.
what? So Michigan men, you have 11 days from now. 11 days. And honestly, Chris, I've been counting down every call-in show because every call-in show it gets like closer, closer, and closer. And the closer we're getting, the more we're finding out. The more we're finding out. Hell, hey, the media's turning on them. From what Buckeye Scoop said.
Their own media is turning on them, and that says a lot because they own their media. You know, that's what gets me, Tyler. Are you there?
It's so, okay. Yeah, I'm here, Chris. I'm just saying, it's so profound. It's so profound that they're finally realizing that they are the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
After 18 months, Chris, it's like you keep beating it into them over and over again, and eventually it's like Stockholm syndrome with them. They are now starting to believe everything that we've been trying to tell them.
Yeah, but you know, now I think it's too little, too late. You know, our resident Michigan friend of the show here, Burks, we haven't seen or heard from him in a while. I know he was taking a break because I guess he was getting it from both sides pretty hard. You know, because he was actually, I think, one of the first ones to come around and say, listen, I know it's not that they're not perfect. I know they're guilty of this. I don't think his defense was, I don't think it's as bad as what y'all are saying, but I know they're guilty of this. Well, guess what? Everybody knows they're guilty of this. J.J. McCarthy as much as said they were guilty of this.
Wait, he just admitted that they're guilty?
Well, he basically, I mean, it was kind of an offhand remark. I don't want to misquote it, but he was being interviewed, and he basically, you know, it was suggested. So
it was,
you know, it was implied. So, you know, I mean, you talk about these guys, and I think that the world is coming down around them. I would like to say I feel bad for the Michigan fans, but I just don't. I can't.
I don't feel bad for them at all.
Had they come out and tried to hold their program accountable and then were long suffering through all this, I might have had a bit of compassion. But when you're like the university and doubling down and going with the whole there's nothing to see here, oh, you guys are full of crap, you guys don't know what you're talking about, you don't know football, you don't know sports, you don't know the NCAA, you don't know this, that, or the other. Instead of just coming out and saying, yep, you know, we screwed up, they need to be held accountable. Had they done that instead of all the other stuff, I might have been on board to have just a little bit of compassion for what those fans are going to go through. Not the program, mind you, but what those fans are going to go through. But since the fans want to act all ignorant, screw them. I don't care. You get what you get.
Well, here's my biggest pet peeve, Chris, is even if we gave them a little leniency, right, and actually had given them a little bit of benefit of the doubt if they actually had cooperated, they're still not going to learn anything. They're still going to be exact the same way they've done they've acted their entire existence. Nothing will change.
No.
So that's where my frustration comes is, so you are only retaliating, Michigan man, because you're getting embarrassed publicly day after day after day after day after day. Well, guess what? You made every consequence has two actions, both good or bad. Is that correct, Chris?
Absolutely.
So, Michigan, you chose that consequence to sell your soul to the devil. You sold your soul. To win that title, you sold your soul. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. Because since then, your life has been nothing but pure hell.
Yeah, I can't imagine
nothing.
living life like that. I just can't. You know, it's it's not worth it.
It's not. And now you're being ridiculed day after day after day, Michigan, because you chose it. You chose that consequence. Not
Yeah,
our fault that you got caught.
exactly.
But now we're the bad guys, supposedly, in your eyes because we exposed you. No, that's not how this works. You don't get to play the victim. You don't get to play the victim, Michigan. That's how your fans are acting.
Well, that's the
You're not
angle
the
they're going to
victim,
take.
too.
That's the angle they're going to take on this whole
Exactly.
thing. It's going to be, oh, the NCAA is bullying us. Oh, they've overreached. Oh, they can't do this. Oh, this is bull. Oh, blah 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 blah. You know what? It's played out. It's over. It's done with. Take your punishment like a man. Not that any of you are, but take your punishment like a man.
And that's the other part that really infuriates me too with them, Chris, is they're not man enough or woman enough to actually accept the reality that they're in, the situation they're in right now, and say, okay, we're here. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Actually being proactive and actually thinking of ways to actually fix your program. But no, you're actually being reactive, Michigan. You've been reactive this whole time. And
Yeah.
it's kind of, in a way, it's satisfying for you to see you act like this, Michigan, because basically my entire life, you've been an absolute abject failure, Michigan. So, congratulations. You're still continuing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Tyler, I've got a full bank of calls. I got to move. But hey, man, before you
All
go,
right.
number one barbecue food, number one thing that does not belong at the barbecue.
Number one barbecue food has to be burgers, hot dogs, and food that does not belong. I don't like potato salad, Chris.
Oh, blasphemous. But that's okay. I dig it. I dig it. You know, for me, I'm a big fan of potato salad. I feel like it goes with everything from a burger to a dog to a brat to pulled pork to brisket to ribs, anything. Potato salad just feels right to me. But you know, a lot of it depends on what kind of potato salad it is too. Is it the mustard? Is it the what is the Amish potato salad? Is it the
It's the texture to me. That's the problem.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm with Aaron here. I'm a big fan of the mustard potato salad. That's fire for me. All right, Tyler. Hey, you have a good night, buddy, and we will talk to you next time. OH.
IO, and I'll be in the chat.
All righty, bud. Thanks.
All right, buddy.
All right. That was our friend Tyler. We're moving right on because we still have a full bank of calls. Hey, keep those calls coming in, everybody. Number is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. How we doing tonight, caller?
I am doing fantastic.
Oh,
how about yourself?
You know, I love it. It was a beautiful day here. You know, I got to, like I said, I got to get out and work in the yard a little bit, got some things done around the house, had a great dinner with the wife and the kids. I mean, And I understand, I don't want the idea of Memorial Day and what it means to get lost in that, but man, in remembrance, of that, celebrating the day that way, I think really is just a wonderful thing. And of course, being able to come on here tonight, talk a little football, just makes the day that much better. We got Bobby Mack saying that ribs, he wants to get rid of potato salad with raisins. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the super chat, Bobby. So anyhow, go ahead. What's on your mind tonight?
Since it's Memorial Day, I've been thinking as a veteran, I've been thinking all weekend about my time in service and the
Well,
people I
thank you for
served in
that service,
combat
by the
with.
way.
And by the way, Tyler, congratulations, your wife that she got her promoted to E6. One of my favorite things was a promotion, and a standing formation, a promotion, and as someone seen as a fellow soldier get promoted, that's a big time. That's a big thing. I don't think a lot of people understand. For the Army, for her to get to E6, she had to go in front of a board of all the first sergeants and the sergeant major in her battalion to and be asked a series of questions from each of them before she could get that promotion. So it's I've been through that process, and it can be not everybody does well when they go in there and a sergeant major asks you your name. Some people screw that up. So good for her. Congratulations, and just remember, everybody that come before us and that will come after us, and know this, Buckeye fans. We are represented in every combat zone we've ever been in. Let me tell you what, those Buckeye banners and stuff are flying high everywhere we go. Everywhere we go around the world is an 08 and an IO. And we run deep in the military in all branches. All branches. We are probably the fifth largest group from any state. Would be the state of Ohio. All the branches. So
I'll tell you.
we represent no matter what it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's kind of funny you mentioned that because there was a point that we used to get these reports about where our podcast was being listened to the most. And of course, Eric could break it down by, I think, region and by country and things like that. We broke it down by country, and it was like the U.S. I can't remember what number 2 was, but I think number 3 was like Kuwait. So that kind of goes to what you were saying. I don't know. Eric knows what the exact breakdown was, I'm sure, but it seems to me it was some country in the Middle East was like number 3 on our list of popular places where we were listened to. And, I think that is exactly what you're talking about right there. Buckeye Nation, it runs deep through the military. So
Yeah, it does. I would not be surprised if it's Kuwait because we do have stuff where we got some bases there and stuff, and it probably is Kuwait. I'd probably say you're probably 100% right on that. I remember just to show you that not all the scum fans are scum. Some of them are good people. My last tour, one of the guys in my platoon was a fan of the team up north, and we would switch out guard positions with each other if because by that time, as 2006, things were different. By then, we had TVs and stuff. It was
yeah.
So if his guard duty fell when Michigan was on, I would pull his guard duty, and he'd do the same for me. So it's we had a good time. We actually we got back in 2006. We literally got back 4 days before the game. 4 days before that game. That game will live on infamy in my family forever. My brother and my sister came up to see me. There's some, oh man, we ain't got time. We ain't got time to get in that story, brother. People woke up with beans in their belly in the bathtub, and it was off the hook. Yeah, it is funny to watch the scum media flipping. They're like, oh, we never said that. Well, that's not what I said. Oh,
Yeah,
really? Because the internet says. You totally did. Yeah, we're like, oh, nothing's going to happen. They shouldn't be. The future players shouldn't be punished. Really, I find it interesting that the media has taken that position that the future players shouldn't be, really, because I don't remember that being taken into account with anybody else. Like, I don't know, Penn State. How about USC when they went through their little scandal?
Oh, the Miami
Did
years.
USC players? I don't think so, because they lost scholarships, full bans.
Yeah, here's the thing with that. The players won't be affected because the transfer portal will be open for them.
Yeah, if you choose to go there, hey, that's on you. You knew what was going to happen. You chose to go there. You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And anybody that's thinking about going there, let me tell you what. Like Tyler said, in 11 days, that hearing takes place, and there's going to be another 30 to 45 days after that. So about 2 to 3 weeks before the season starts. And I've said all along, this is how this is going to roll out. If you look how the NCAA has handled this whole thing from the very beginning, something always rolled out right before spring practice, the spring game, and something was rolled out last year and this year right before the season starts.
Yeah.
And Sharon Moore, that dude's getting at least a 2-year show cause. I'm telling you right now. We got other guys that got 1-year show cause and other coaches that got 2-year show cause. I don't see how he gets anything less than 2.
Well, they gave Jim Tressel 5 for Tattoo-gate. And everything that's been done is much worse than that.
Just incredible.
Yeah, I don't see how Sharon Moore has a job after this. I really don't.
Well, Nevada put it out a couple weeks ago that the word on the street is that the Michigan's looking for another coach.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
He's gone. He's coaching in 2025 or 2026. I don't think.
Yeah, and there's going to be. Here's the thing. When all this is done, when the dust is settled, and Sharon Moore's, let's say he's looking at even a 3-year suspension. Ward Manuel is going to be gone. You got a new president coming in. You're going to have a new athletic director. They are going to try to put this scandal as far in the rearview mirror as possible. So anybody who was associated with that team, count on the fact they will be dismissed. They will be gone. And I think that is what the NCAA is going to demand. I think that's what the public is going to demand. And I definitely think that's what any incoming president and incoming athletic director is going to demand. They are going to have to go in and they are going to have to completely revamp the entire Michigan athletic department. And for those people in Michigan who keep saying nobody outside of Columbus, Ohio cares, here's a Penn State fan who's calling you out too. It's all over the country. It's not just Columbus, Ohio. Everybody is sick and tired of what happened in Ann Arbor. Everybody is demanding consequences. So, have anything else for us tonight?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you have anything else for us tonight?
I disagree with the Penn State guy here. That they won't ever fire him. Look, man, there's a morality clause in those contracts.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, there's a morality clause, and that's going to whatever buyout. That buyout means nothing when you violate that morality clause. So that ain't going to be nothing, you know.
Yeah, they can terminate with cause without having to do the payout.
Yeah. Once you get a show cause, dude, that means nothing. Yeah, but yeah, as far as the barbecues out there, brother, probably my favorite is a cheeseburger. I'm with you. I don't know if I actually count that as like actual barbecue. Barbecue would have to be pulled pork or baby back ribs.
I don't know. I put barbecue sauce on everything, including burgers.
So does my wife. She'll put barbecue sauce on anything. Look out. And worst thing is baked beans.
Oh, I'm with you there 100%.
Anybody's like, oh, you want baked beans? Would you like a punch in the mouth? No, I don't want baked beans.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate the call. You have a great night. And again, thank you for your service. OH.
Oh!
Go Bucks. All right. Looks like next we are headed on up to the 419. Guys, we still have 3 callers in queue prior to this me taking this call, and lines are open. So 419 looks like we have, I'm gonna bet this is Schrock. It is. It is the other half of the Buckeye Lounge co-hosting team. Sean Schrock is on the line. Schrockster, what's up?
What's going on, Wildman?
Oh man, I'm feeling it. It's a beautiful day. It's a great day. It's a great day to be
Memorial
alive.
Day to everybody out there.
Yeah. Great day to be alive.
Hey,
great day to be an American. Great day to be a Buckeye.
Wake up a national champion. I mean, we wake up champions every day. It's great, isn't it? I mean, and ours isn't tainted, which makes it even better. So, I mean, for those Michigan people, it's probably going to be another 70 years before you see one. So your great grandchildren will probably get to see the next Michigan championship. One that you got to see was tainted. So I'm sorry about your luck. That's about the way it goes for you guys. Now you guys go over 70 years before you get undisputed championships. Because the one in '97, let's be honest, there it was a co-championship.
It was a half. And Nebraska was better.
Oh, I mean, the one poll voted for Nebraska, and the other poll voted for Michigan. So there was one poll where you weren't the best team. So you can't declare that you're undisputed champion. So
I wish they would have played that out, because I'll tell you, I think Nebraska would have put a beating on them.
Well, Nebraska had a much tougher bowl game. I mean, Michigan played an overrated Washington State team that had Ryan Leaf on it. That was about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that team wasn't that good. And for God's sakes, come on. I mean, I don't know where you guys are seeing some of these Michigan people backing up. I'm still seeing a bunch of idiots saying nothing's going to happen, and they're still mocking us, making fun of us. I mean, I see all kinds of parody accounts now.
Oh, yeah.
That's saying hammer time. You know, I mean, they keep thinking nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's a joke.
Chris, you can't fix stupid. You just can't.
That's
right. You can't fix stupid.
That's right.
I mean, there's that old saying, you can't polish a turd. I mean, that's just the freaking, I mean, that's just being honest. Those people believe whatever Sam Webb and Isaiah Holt and Bayless and all those idiots tell them, even though time after time people keep dunking on them and proving them wrong, and they're wrong all the time, but they still stick their head in the sand and believe what they got to say.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you let them. You let them think whatever they got to think to get through the day. Because I'll tell you what, in about 3 weeks, and you know what, here's the thing. We're not going to find out anything on the 6th and the 7th. That's the thing. The infraction committee meets. It's not going to be announced on a weekend. I honestly don't look for anything before probably 2 to 3 weeks after that minimum. and going upwards till maybe early to mid-August. I could see them dropping the bomb on Michigan a couple weeks before the season starts. I think if they're going to levy major punishment, I feel it would be right for them to do it as soon as possible and give these players a chance to transfer out of the program, give them a special dispensation to where they can open that transfer window for 2 weeks to players who want to abandon ship if they are given out the major sanctions that we all believe they are. I think that'd be the right thing to do. But again,
No,
it's just a wait and see. We won't know until it actually happens.
well, here's the thing: if they do that and all those people leave, then they don't have, a portal where they can get people back. They're really going to be hurting then.
And you know what? Ultimately,
I don't
I'm
think
sure that isn't what the NCAA doesn't want.
Exactly. I mean, you watch this. They trolled them. They dropped all kinds of stuff. Look at the way how they've been planning where they've announced stuff. I mean, they dropped it right on, or, Michigan had to, respond back, like a week before the Ohio State game or the week of the Ohio State game. I mean,
Yeah.
just the way they've dropped the NOAs and everything else. And I just want to remind our Michigan friends, if this is nothing, then why hasn't Michigan released the last NOA that they've gotten? Why do they keep refusing to give any of that information out when people did the freedom of information request has been sent to Michigan by many people in the media, and they still won't release it. They're supposed to, but they won't. I mean, if that was nothing, they would have released all that. If it was nothing, this would be over with and settled. They would have taken their punishment by now, and it'd all be over with. And you wouldn't be on your third set of lawyers.
I'll tell you what, Sean. I'm going to take it a step farther than that. I think it comes down simply as this: if it wasn't that big of a deal, why'd you do it to begin with?
Yeah.
If it didn't matter, if it didn't help, if it gave you no competitive advantage, why even bother?
Why did you continue to keep doing it? And why did you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars doing it? I mean, honestly, if it didn't matter, you wouldn't have done it at all. I mean, if it wasn't that big of an advantage, or it didn't help, or you wouldn't continue to keep doing it over and over again and keep spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, people just aren't going to spend that kind of money just to throw it away. I mean, seriously, come on.
Exactly. This was a calculated investment, and this goes back to Jim Harbaugh. If you remember the press conference at the beginning of the season, it was the Big Ten Media Days, I believe, before that 2021 season. And Jim Harbaugh had said, we are going to beat Ohio State or we are going to die trying. Guess what, Jim Harbaugh? Yeah. You effectively killed Michigan. You tried. They died. You failed. It may have looked good on paper while you're there, but it's all about to be eradicated. Your entire coaching career at Michigan was a waste, a joke. It was a laugh. You should just go into exile now and save the world any more stupidity on your part.
It's funny, all those years he was there, he only won 2 bowl games. That's about to be erased. You had a losing record, you're a rival, which all of a sudden, the Michigan fans keep throwing that in our face. You couldn't beat your rival this year, and you won the Natty. Well, Jim Harbaugh only beat his rival twice in all those years he was there. And guess what? Them are about ready to be erased. So he's going to have 0 wins against Ohio State. He's not going to have any wins in postseason wins at all. So, I mean, what's that say about him? And he's probably going to be banned for life from the college football.
And he should be. And he should. I'll tell you what.
He should be. That's right. He's a disgrace.
Him, any coach that was on those sidelines that took part in this, from the smallest little part to the cover-ups to the actual using of the plays, to any part, any involvement, should also receive a lifetime ban from the NCAA. And if they find out that any players do, they should be banned, including coming back as coaches later in life. They should never be allowed to be part of the college game again.
The thing is, they've had more coaches sanctioned than any program in the history of college football or any school. I mean, you can look at any school and they could combine all their sports programs, and they still wouldn't have the sanctions that Michigan football has right now. With their coaches, as many coaches sanctioned. I mean, they make SMU look like girls, like Cub Scouts compared to what they did. I mean, seriously. And I know a bunch of Michigan fans will laugh and say, well, they're giving them show causes, but it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter because they're building a case against you morons, and they're showing intent on what the scheme was and how you guys all were in on it. So you can sit there and try to say Jim Harbaugh didn't know. That's BS.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slap on the wrist. That's BS. It's going to be funny when it all finally does come out, when they're all crying. And all we're going to hear, the word of the day we're going to hear, Chris, for the next probably year and a half. Everybody get ready for this word, overreach.
Yep, absolutely.
They're going to sit there and they're going to say they overreached. They're going to be crying and play. They're just mean to us because we're Michigan. They don't like Michigan.
Well, nobody likes Michigan, and that's because you haven't been relevant in 70-plus years. The only thing that keeps you relevant is cheating and losing to Ohio State. That's it.
You guys are so arrogant and ignorant and hypocritical. All you do is run your mouths, and you haven't done anything. I mean, you disgrace the game of college football.
Absolutely.
And you guys have no class, no integrity, no morals. You don't care. You'll do whatever it takes to win. Then you guys sit here, and these coaches are a bunch of scumbags. And what do? You guys treat them like they're gods. You celebrate these guys. Connor Stalions is probably going to destroy your program and make you irrelevant for decades. And what do? You guys treat him like he's a hero. If that happened at Ohio State, that dude wouldn't be allowed on campus. The coaches, we wouldn't want them around. If our team did that, we would be embarrassed. That's the difference between Ohio State and Michigan. We hold our teams to a higher standard, our program to a higher standard. You guys don't. We would be embarrassed if we won a tainted natty. We wouldn't accept it. We'd be embarrassed. We want those people no longer involved with our program. But what do? You guys call Connor Stalions a legend, and you throw him, you basically take him to the Rose Bowl and the national championship game. You guys are all laughing at the NCAA, and you know what? While you guys were all doing that, they were taking stock of what you guys were doing, and the people who are going to get the last laugh is going to be the NCAA.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sean.
And those banners that you got hanging.
Yep.
The banners that they got hanging are going to come down, and they're going to get rolled up and stuck in a closet next to those Fab Five Final Four banners that you guys had hanging. That's somewhere in a closet. And that trophy you guys got, you might get to keep the trophy, but it's not going to mean anything. It's just going to be one big gigantic paperweight. It ain't going to mean crap because nobody's going to recognize it. No one respects it. So. Best barbecue foods. I got to go burgers or brats or hot dogs. Them are the main ones that I go to. Things that do not belong at barbecue is any tofu.
You got that right.
Them plant-based burgers, them turkey burgers, plant-based burgers, tofu dolls. All that stuff belongs there at a barbecue. Come on.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna push back a little bit on that one. I don't do the tofu. Agreed. I have been known to enjoy a black bean burger from time to time. Great flavor.
See, I hate black beans. I don't like black beans, so I just
for those of us who are watching what we eat for one reason or another. The black bean burgers, the veggie burgers, they are good alternatives. But man, I love me
grill some chicken. Grill some chicken, brother.
I do
Grill
love
some chicken, bro.
chicken. I do love chicken. Absolutely.
No, that's a healthier way. You know what else is good is pork chops. Grill some pork chops. Grilled pork chops are also
for me, if I'm going to
grill.
go pork, I'm going ribs.
Gotta go ribs.
I'm going to go ribs. Barbecued ribs all day long. Although good pulled
Brisket's
pork is good
too, man.
Oh,
Pulled pork's awesome too.
Brisket might be the #1 barbecue food. I'm not going to lie. You get a good, tender, smoky, really flavorful brisket.
Oh, yep.
Something that's been cooking 12 hours. You know, you have a nice peppery bark that you're cooking it with. Oh my gosh.
Is it just me, or does everything just taste better off the grill? It just tastes better off the grill. A hot dog, a burger, a steak.
It does.
Off the grill, man. It just tastes better. It just tastes better, man. Got better flavor to it. So, thanks again for having me on. I also want to give a shout out to Vader. I want to give a shout out to Buck Vader. He's also going to be part of our show. He's going to help behind the scenes, help us with some things, and I just want to thank him and give him a shout out. He's going to be part of the Buckeye Lounge team, doing some stuff in the background for us and helping us out and helping us with some ideas that we're gonna try to execute this year.
That's awesome. That is 100% awesome. Love it. The team just keeps growing, so hopefully the channel just keeps growing, and we get that reach out there to all these Buckeye fans, man. That's what it's all about.
Hey, tomorrow's gonna be electric. Don't miss it, guys.
Yeah, I'm pumped up. And
it'll be electric tomorrow night.
TJ has kept it quiet. We're gonna, I guess, drop an early hint behind the paywall earlier in the day.
We're gonna have Eric drop it in the thumbnail tomorrow, so everybody get to see it when he releases the thumb. When he drops the thumbnail tomorrow, that way people get to see who it is, and we don't want to release it too quick because we like a little bit of mystery. And I just gotta say this, guys, tomorrow and the following week are gonna be electric, guys. The next 2 weeks for sure are gonna be dynamite. You guys aren't gonna want to miss it. So, Thanks everybody.
Thanks,
appreciate
Sean.
the support, Chris. Thanks, brother. Have a good night.
You too. OH.
I-O, brother.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
That was our dude, Sean Schrock, one half of the Buckeye Lounge team. Actually, it sounds like now maybe 1/3 of the Buckeye Lounge team. So, guys, we got 2 more callers in queue. I'm about to pull one of those up right now. And hey, after that, just know the phone lines are open. We'll keep this thing going as long as you guys are talking. Let's see. There it comes. Dan, are you there, my man?
What's going on, Chris the Loud Man? How are we doing tonight?
Oh, it's a great day. It is always a great day.
Well, I am calling you from the Gravedigger's secret hideout somewhere in the deep darkness of the great state of Ohio. As everybody should know, to my reserve house that I like to call my getaway location. But how are we doing today, good sir?
I'm awesome. What's on your mind?
Oh, let's get the barbecue stuff out of the way first before I start
all right.
destroying the scum fan.
Hit me with your favorite and least favorite barbecue items.
The most favorite things for a barbecue? I've got a couple here, Chris, so bear with me. Baby back ribs doused in barbecue sauce, cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, hot dogs. I mean, you cannot go wrong with it. And to drink it, you either go with a root beer, a cold Mountain Dew, or your grandma's sweet tea recipe, because by God, you are really going to kill it. And don't forget the side of baked beans.
Oh.
Now that's classic of my mom's side of the family. Okay. The thing you do not want to bring or do not want to have at a barbecue, tofu.
Agreed.
Yeah, I hate that crap. Salads, most definitely. And there's one drinking, or actually a couple of you shouldn't, but mostly of them contain Do not bring any drinks with alcohol, liquor. Don't bring any of them to a barbecue. That is just so absolutely freaking wrong. Dog, come on now.
Dude, what are you talking about, man? There's nothing wrong with breaking open a cold one at a barbecue. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
You know what's even better, Chris, is cracking open a cold Mountain Dew after a long, hard day work out in the field and enjoying the sunset, because you know you reap what you sow, they say. And it's truth be told, Chris. And where my secret hideout location is located, I can say that firmly. Literally, firmly.
Okay. Let's move on to the business at hand. What do you have to say to our friends from that state up north?
To the powers of the state of North who should belong on Sesame Street, but I don't want to have to send them there, because if I did, I'd be going over to Sesame Street and tearing them limb from limb with the fellas from right here where my secret location is located at, or where my secret house is located. Because they live right down the road here, and I don't want to have to call my fellas up, because it's going to be a bad day to be an Amazing Blue fan. I'm just going to say that. But to the Scum fans, as my buddy who played strong safety says, the Scum ain't nothing but a bunch of weasel cowards who don't know how to play football. And if you could fill the blanks out, Chris, you would know what he means and what he said. And truth be told, the grave creeper isn't wrong. I'm just going to say that. Truth be told. But that's just my 2 cents on this Scum, and I pray to God Ohio State hammers them down so bad down the highway to hell. Just the bottom line. I mean, do you agree with me, Chris, or did I lose you?
I like to pride myself on being able to follow in most conversations. But I'm not going to lie. You went a little bit off the rails there. I think what you're trying to say is, suck it up, Buttercup, the hammer's coming.
More pointing towards the highway to hell is coming their way, and it's going to be really bad. And they're lucky that me and 6 that guys who I had the privilege of playing high school football with, and I heard your comment last week. Pickleball. First of all, I did not play pickleball. I played football in high school, damn it.
What is pickleball?
I don't even know. That's what you said last week or something. I don't know. But you are lucky. OSU did not recruit me and my brothers from another mother. Because if they did, you would be 6 feet under in coffins. And that's not a damn lie. That's a fact. That's how bad we were going to be, the living out of Michigan, out of the Scum. Because the Scum don't deserve to see the sunlight. They deserve to be 6 feet under. Yeah, gummit. Now, you can call me crazy, but that's just my 2 cents on the Scum. The Scum. Tom Brady's kid. Kendra Lust's little boy. Yeah, right. Yeah, go find your mama and go tell her that we're coming down there. Actually, we're coming up there to beat the living out of y'all. The bottom line, y'all are in trouble. Y'all are dead man walking. And that's the bottom line. Now, Chris, if you think I'm a little too violent, I'm sorry. I just have a lot of ferocity against the Scum. And that Scum is going down the highway to hell. And Eric, I know that you're probably thinking, Dan, why are you so violent? Well, Do you know what happens when you have to play four high school rival games that ended a bloody mess? Yeah. And the county sheriff's office don't do a daggone thing about it? Figure that out.
What county was this?
Why should I say, Chris?
No, I'm just curious. What county was it?
You'll learn all of that on 725. That's the other part of that. You'll hear all the amazing football stories from high school on the date that I specifically sent Eric an email with an image. I was just cleaning up the garage. And 725. So be patient, Chris. You'll be hearing a lot more. And I'll be posting a video about that too. So don't forget that. And be patient, my friend. You'll learn you'll know everything, and you'll know the stories of how the guys from a lonely country redneck high school became the most dominant force that decided to not play that decided not to go to college football because of family reasons. Now, you can respect family reasons, but that's just our reasoning. And I say our reasoning is because, truth be told, we had this conversation. Me and my brothers from another mother talked about it as soon as high school ended. But you'll be hearing more of that on 725. And what date? Eric will get an email about what date you'll be seeing that video released. So stay tuned for that video.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a full back call, so let me move on. You have a great night, Caden or Dan.
And hey, Berg, I know you're in there. I know you're in here.
Oh, OH. Oh my goodness. My goodness. What was that? I've got a couple more callers in queue that I'm going to get to, but oh my goodness. You know, I don't know what to do with this anymore. Please. Chat. Matt, I think you nailed this, buddy. He is our cousin Eddie. He is the gift that keeps on giving. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I could fire that poor son of a gun. All right. We're going to take our next caller. Caller, hello. Please redeem us.
Hey, Grumpy Cat.
Oh, Mika, thank you, thank you. Someone with just a bit of sanity. I appreciate that. How are things going?
I couldn't let him be the last one.
Well, I've actually got at least one more caller in queue, and hey, guys, the lines are still open. But Mika, what's on your mind tonight?
Nothing much. I'm just waiting for the Hamlets. I've been getting tired of waiting, man. It's been a long week.
It has been too long. It has been too long. And I am so excited that here's the thing. I'm so excited that June 6th and 7th is coming because that means it's finally going to get adjudicated. But the thing is, Mika, I don't know that we're going to hear anything before the middle of August. I really don't.
I hope we do. They got to do something, man. If they don't do anything, it's going to open up a whole big can of worms.
Oh, I really do believe they're going to do something. I believe they're going to get hammered hard. But this is what I would also say about that is it's just June 6th and 7th is not going to be the day that we all find out. Because I believe you're looking at 30 to 45 days after that date before the ruling actually comes out. And then it's a matter of, do they want to try to fight it in court? I don't think they do. The reason being, things are so bad right now. The last thing they want is everything out in the open in court, because it looks bad now. It's going to look a hell of a lot worse if everything is out there.
Definitely. I got a lot of good qualities, but patience normally isn't one of them. So I've just been antsy about it since the whole thing got out. But I really hope we hear some good news soon. Good news for us, bad news for them.
Yeah, I'm always excited to hear good news for us, bad news for them. That's what I thrive on. I'll tell you, Meek, I'm looking at the chat. Let me tell you. Oh, people have a lot to say about our friend Dan when he calls.
Yeah, he's a special one.
Oh, so what are you hearing from us new now? Now I got to ask you, because I know you're the person to talk to about this. I've heard a couple names brought up here recently. Of course, one we talked about a while back, but I'm hearing that Luke Waffle now is definitely in the mix, that he really likes Ohio State. I'm also hearing Max Sutter, the tight end, is headed for a visit, and I hear that he's pretty high on Ohio State. I think he's the number 6 tight end in the class. What are you hearing about these guys?
Yeah, I know they're visiting soon, but I know for sure Waffle's coming on the 30th, and Sutter's coming the same day as the Bowman kid. I think we got a better chance at landing Sutter than we do Bowman. And I think there's a good possibility we land Waffle and Sutter. And I'm also hearing rumblings that we could get back in on Richard Wesley, the Oregon commit, too.
Wow. Yeah, I'll tell you. I said it before, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong or not, but it just, something feels right now in Columbus. It just feels like every button Ryan Day is pushing and his coaching staff is pushing seems to be the right one right now.
And I wouldn't be surprised once we get our first defensive end and commit if we see a lot of defensive prospects start committing after that, and that just opens the door, opens the floodgates for people, because it's gonna be like, oh crap, we gotta hurry up and make sure we got a spot if we want in. So I think after we get the first guy, we won't have to wait too long to get more on the defensive line.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. So what else is on your mind tonight, Mika?
Nothing much. Just want to say hi.
Well, I definitely appreciate that.
Waiting on the hammer.
Waiting on the hammer. All right, so let me ask you. I've asked everybody. Best barbecue food, worst barbecue food?
I gotta go with either steak or ribs.
Yeah, and I love me a good steak, but I don't know. Steak to me, I mean, I guess barbecue, yeah, because I think a lot of people, and I don't know whether this is something that a lot of people crossed over. When I say barbecue, a lot of people think tailgate. I'm thinking the whole at home barbecue as well, and I think steak definitely a staple of that. What did you have as your worst?
What's my worst thing?
The worst thing,
probably,
or what doesn't belong?
Anything like tofu or vegan or macaroni salad. I'm not a big fan of macaroni salad.
I'm kind of with you there. Macaroni salad's okay. I'm not gonna turn it away if it's the only side that's there. But I'm definitely more of a potato salad person. Give me some mustard potato salad all day long.
I totally agree. I don't like sweet potato salad at all. I like the way my mom makes it with pickles.
Oh yeah, that's it. You got the mustard, mix in just a little bit of, and see, a lot of people will say mayo. I say mix in a little bit of Miracle Whip. I like that little bit of extra zest. You take those two things, cut up the pickles, right there.
Yeah, but anything barbecue is good.
Yeah.
My dad makes the best steaks though, so I gotta go with steaks.
All right.
There.
Well, hey Mika, thank you for so much for the call. Always wonderful to hear from you. And hey, OH.
I'll be in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Mika.
Nice.
All right, guys. Looks like we have one more caller in queue right now. Phone lines will be open. If you guys give us a call, we'll keep it going. But otherwise, if we don't see anybody else pop in, this will be our last caller of the night. This is, I believe, Jeff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
what's
Hello.
up, man?
Hello, my man. Good to talk to you guys as usual. I just had, I had to get in there. You're talking about, number one, of course, you're talking about hating Michigan, which is totally wonderful. You could talk about hating Michigan every minute of the day. You can never get enough of that. And you're also talking about food, which I can definitely do some damage on some food. So I just had to get in there.
Yeah, I can tear me up some food. I didn't get as big as I was. Now I'm not that big anymore, but I didn't get as big as I was without being able to enjoy some food. I'm still not tiny.
Yeah, and no, I'm not either, brother. I'm not tiny either. But my beautiful wife is sitting here, and she has a question, and I want you guys to answer this as most professionally as you can. Why do you guys hate Michigan so much? I want to hear it from you while you're on here.
For me, first of all, born and bred an Ohio State fan. I come from a line of Ohio State fans. So I think part of it is just it was bred into me initially. But having been really my formative years of watching football, when I really developed into a big football fan, was during the John Cooper years.
Oh yeah, right.
So
right.
to have to go through 2-10-1, to watch at least 2, if not 3, potential national championships lost at the hands of that team.
Right.
For me, that was a big part of where my hatred towards the football team came. Now the fan base, I'll tell you, in all honesty, for a long time, I did not have my lack of compassion. I did not have my despise for the fan base as much initially. Originally, it was just a football-based thing. But the more I hear them speak, their arrogance, their dismissiveness, their entitlement, their thought that they are better than everyone and they deserve no consequence for anything. The fact that they think that this team did nothing wrong. It is all fueled a hatred now, not only towards the team, but towards the people that root for them. Because Ohio State fans, say what you will about us. Because, and I kind of joked about saying we're a fickle bunch earlier. We can be judgmental. We can be reactionary. We can be that lunatic fringe that Kirk Herbstreit liked to talk about. We can be all those things. But what we would not tolerate as a fan base is disgracing the game of football, disgracing the university, disgracing the best rivalry in all of sports, or what was the best rivalry in all of sports. We would have called for heads. we would have called for accountability. We would have put our own team, our own coaches, our own players on trial for that ourselves. And all you get out of the unethical, godless, gutless fans of that state up north is, what did we do wrong? Yeah, it didn't really matter.
We do wrong.
If it didn't matter, why the hell were you doing it?
Right.
Why?
Right.
So
Right.
that, and I'd already started to dislike the fans going back to, I would say probably the early 2000s, maybe even the late 90s. I'd really started to dislike the fan base, seeing the way they were as people. And Steely puts on here that, we were voted a toxic fan base, but we are nothing compared to the scum fans. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
As my dislike has grown and grown and grown, and now everything that has happened under this Harbaugh administration, moving forward into the Sharon Moore years, has taken me from a dislike to despising everyone, anyone, and everything that has anything to do with the school, the team, the fans, the state, everything. But that's just basically how I feel.
Well, that's good. That's really, I mean, I'm like at pretty much the same reasoning with me. I mean, you pretty hit it accurately what you were saying, the reasoning and all that. I guess there are people out there that just have that, they just can't figure that out. It's like, why do you hate a certain team so bad? And they just don't understand it. But on a more serious note, I wanted to ask you, now I know there's a lot of coaching changes with Ohio State coming up this year now. Now, do you think, I mean, now they're definitely reloaded with the new recruits and stuff coming in. They're basically reloaded. But do you think the change in coaches is going to have a negative effect on things going in?
I don't think so. At first I was worried about Matt Patricia. I was worried based upon his culture and his team that he had as a head coach in Detroit more than anything. But if we look at this and we really step back and take the proper look, he's not the head coach. He's responsible for one side of the ball, the defense. He is armed with, I think, maybe the finest group of defensive assistants in the country in Larry Johnson, the defensive line GOAT, a great up-and-comer in James Laurinaitis, who very likely is going to be a DC in the near future. Tim Walton, Matt McGarry, you look at what we have as a defensive coaching staff, and I just think, wow, you've got all this talent, all these guys. And again, Ohio State guys in the locker room as coaches, which I absolutely love. And then you take and put a mad genius, a rocket scientist in charge of these guys. I'm excited to see what happens with this defense. TG was on at the beginning of the night, and she says she thinks this defense is going to be elite, possibly even better than last year's number one ranked defense. That's impressive, and I think I truly believe she may be right. We've got a lot of talent. Yes, we lost a lot, but I think at times our talent was downplayed by our scheme a little bit last year, specifically along the defensive front. And I'm interested to see how that plays out with Matt Patricia. Now, that being said, offensively, obviously, the biggest thing offensively is we lose Chip Kelly, we move on to Brian Hartline. I'm excited for this. I think this was the next natural step for him. Putting the play sheet in his hands, seeing how things go. We've got obviously a new offensive line coach who has done a tremendous job getting out there and recruiting. If his development is half as good as his recruiting, I really feel like, we are going to see something special there. And then you look at the skill positions. I mean, my goodness. Yes, we lose leadership in Will Howard, but I mean, it's conceivable that I think Julian Sayin actually has more upside than obviously than Will Howard did. Can he be the leader that Will Howard was is the big question. And then on top of that, you look at a wide receiver room that I think potentially could be better than what we saw last season. How frightening is that? And then you combine all that with, I think, an upgraded tight end room. I think we're going to still have a very, very, very good running game. I think Peoples is going to be tremendous. Watch out for CJ Donaldson. Since he dropped that weight in camp, he is looking like an absolute beast. We got Bo Jackson in there probably as a likely number 3 guy. This team is not just poised for last year. It's not just poised for this year. This is a team that I think could be poised for the next several years. And given an expanded playoff, how do you not like the Buckeyes' odds to be in the mix every stinking year? I mean, that's where I'm at with it right now. The key is, and it's going to seem almost hypocritical when I say this. It's going to seem weird coming from me. I think we can lose and interchange almost any coach. Not all, but almost any coach. As long as you've got Brian Hartline still in there pulling, or no, I'm sorry, not Brian Hartline, Ryan Day in there pulling the strings. Brian Hartline on the offensive side of the ball, continuing to bring those kids in. I think James Laurinaitis in there developing into your next defensive coordinator down the road. I mean, this team is not going anywhere as long as they keep those components.
Oh yeah. So you don't think the loss of Chip Kelly and the Jim Knowles, you don't think that's gonna? I mean, that is a loss, obviously, but you think that they've compensated for that with no problem?
I think they've compensated for Jim Knowles for sure. Mainly because Jim Knowles, I don't think was buying in. He wasn't a part of this culture that was going to get things done in the future. He was a mercenary. He was what we knew he was. If you look at his track record, he's 3 years and gone. It takes him 3 years to build a great defense somewhere, and then he's 3 years and gone. He builds that great defense, and he jumps. That's what he does. I don't think he was going to be a long-term culture guy. I think that Matt Patricia is probably not going to be a long-term culture guy. I think ultimately your long-term guy is probably coaching your linebackers right now. But it's a matter of he's not ready yet. Will he be ready?
Right.
In a few years, probably, but not right now. Offensively, losing Chip Kelly is the one that scares me a bit. And this is why. Chip Kelly had had Ryan Day's respect and trust. And I don't know that Brian Hartline, I think Brian Hartline, Brian Hartline, the coach, has that. I don't know if Brian Hartline, the play caller, has that yet. That's something that's going to have to develop. So could that be an issue? Perhaps. But, and this is the thing. If he had a soft game week 1, maybe a soft game the first 3-4 games to give him time to get into this role, I think it goes without saying he's ready by the time they hit the Big Ten schedule. He doesn't have that. He has got one of the top teams in the country, one of the favorites to win the national title, coming into Columbus the very first game, August 30th. That's going to set the tone. So I think you're going to see Ryan Day and Brian Hartline get together and formulate a tremendous game plan, a group of plays that we're going to choose from these first, 10, 15 play calls. This is what we're going to run. This is what we're going to do. And these are our options if we need to audible out and go to a different set. I think that's how it's going to be probably set up for him, so that I think Ryan Day feels more comfortable, and so that it gives Brian Hartline a chance to get some momentum going as the game rolls on.
Right. Well, honestly, I mean, I don't want to sound crazy here or something, but I think because it's a home game coming up with Texas and the confidence that Ohio State has, I think they're going to blow Texas away, dude. I mean, I'm not saying by 50 points or something like that, but I think they're just going to blow them away. And I think the crowd's going to be there, and I think they're just going to open it up and just cut it loose. And I'll tell you what, if that happens, I think Ohio State's going to make another run for it. I mean, truthfully.
Yeah, I agree. I've said all along, I think this is a double-digit win for the Buckeyes. I'd be a lot more concerned if this was down in Austin. But I think that, we talked about the Big Noon Kickoff a lot yesterday. And the Big Noon Kickoff, it's not always good for Ohio State. And you'd think we'd be used to it by now, since that seems to be what we've relegated to. But our fans are not big fans of the Big Noon Kickoff, because if you look at this, it's not the rowdy, crazy, let's call it what it is. It's sometimes drunken fans that have been out tailgating all day. It's not that whole day's build up to something big. It's like, you get there, you got a couple hours, run in the stadium. Go to the Skull Session, run the stadium. There's not the build up, there's not the anticipation. And a lot of times it seems like on Big Noon kickoffs, our crowd comes out flat. That's what we've got to avoid. Buckeye Nation has to come out on fire in that first game.
Mm-hmm.
They have to set the tone for our team. And TG mentioned this. It was mentioned by Corey yesterday. The big thing is, remember, Julian Sand is a young kid, first start. Be patient. Don't turn on the kid if he throws an interception, if he has a few bad reads. Allow him to develop and grow. Let him work through this, because I'll tell you what, I promise you, I think ultimately he's going to be great. He is going to be absolutely great. And I think we still win that game. I look for us hopefully to lean a little bit more on the running game in that first game. Maybe use that run to establish the pass. Give him a lot of short patterns to get comfortable, get confidence. Whether it's the new weapon he's gotten, Max Clare, whether it's something out of the backfield to a C.J. Donaldson, James Peoples, Bo Jackson. Maybe it's slants to Ennis or J.J. Smith, maybe doing something across the middle. There's a lot of options that he's got, but just make it simple so that he can develop confidence early.
Yeah, now the Julian Sands guy, the guy you're talking about now, Will Howard wasn't much of a, like, if he was dropping back and had to run, he's like a real fast running threat. Is this guy Julian Sands? Because I haven't seen the stuff, but is this guy Julian Sands, is he like a threat as far as, like, if nobody's open, just running the ball? Is he a threat in that regard?
Julian is mobile. he can run a little bit. But this is the thing. He ideally is a pocket passer who hopefully only has to get you a yard or two from time to time. In a perfect world, he's not going to be running and taking those hits because, let's remember, after we do not have a quarterback rich roster here. We have, of course, we've got Julian, we got Lincoln Keenholz, who I presume would be the backup. We've got Tavian, who's a true freshman. And then we've got the kid that just transferred in, who I think is there to provide some leadership, some veteran stability. But honestly, we don't want Julian Saint out there taking a bunch of hits. But at the same time, we can't be afraid to let him run the ball either, because if you remember right, that's what happened with CJ that year, where we didn't see him run until the Georgia game. It was always. I think Ryan Day played scared with CJ at times because he was afraid of an injury of an injury to the guy who was his star. You can't play afraid in this game. When you're playing football, you can't play football from a position of fear. You've got to go out there and just let it all hang out. I'm not saying be stupid, but don't do something stupid. Don't do something risky necessarily, but take a calculated risk. Don't be afraid to run. Don't be afraid to run and slide. Don't be afraid to try to extend plays. But I think that's going to be the key to watch. Is in fact here, Lucia says Justin Fields said that Day didn't want him to run either, but he did it anyways. And I think that's probably the ongoing thing. If you ask any Ryan Day quarterback, that's probably exactly what he's going to say, because Day wants to see them drop back and use their arm and use their mind and exploit defenses that way. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to pull that thing down and run for those 2 or 3 yards to get the first, extend the drive, and keep the thing going.
Right. So hey, is Day, the way they got it set up with Hartline and everything, is Day completely out of the play calling? He's just going to put that all on Hartline? Is that what you're saying?
It sounds like Brian Hartline is going to call the plays. Now, this is what I say. He's not going to be out of it completely because, let's face it, Ryan Day designed this offense. Ryan Day knows this offense better than anybody else. Hartline's a first-time coordinator. So this is my thought. I think that Ryan Day tries to keep a more hands-off approach, but I also think that if he feels that Hartline is struggling, or if he thinks something's going to work better than what Hartline has in mind, or if Hartline gets in a jam and just needs help, I think Ryan Day is there for that. So I think that he's not going to be completely hands off, but I think he's going to definitely let Hartline have the lead.
Okay. Well, hey, before I forget here, I know you got to get going here, but before I forget, I wanted to say special thanks to the veterans. I'm a veteran myself, so I wanted to say a special thanks in that regard. And I wanted to also say, as far as the food goes, I got to make a comment on that. And I had to give a comment. My wife said I called just because I wanted to hear myself talk, but that really wasn't the reason why. But anyway, barbecue, like I heard that other thing say, everything on the grill is better. That guy, whoever said that a while back, he's exactly right. Everything on the grill is better. And as far as the best things on the grill, I'm telling you what, man, that you cannot touch a thick T-bone steak on the grill, or some beef ribs. You cannot touch that. Or some good smoked barbecue chicken. You cannot touch that. And then throw in a case of Corona, and you got it going right there, brother. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So.
And there was a place down south. I don't know if you guys ever been down, into Florida and down that way. I'm sure you have. The Sonny's Barbecue. They used to have an all-you-can-eat barbecue chicken. Oh my God, dude! I go in there and they would lose money on me, brother. They would lose money, and I missed that very much. But anyway, I had to get the comments in on the food and everything else, and I appreciate the time and everything. And I'm looking forward to getting back with you, Chris, on the other thing too. So I'll wait to hear from you on that.
Absolutely. I will give you a call about that. Absolutely. 100%. All right, man. You have a great night.
Bro. All right. Same to you, man. OH.
Oh. Okay. So Bobby Mack had a $2 super chat. Who is the fastest person on the team? Okay. So currently, the one I found that was the fastest one currently on the team would be Jeremiah Smith at a 23.2 mile per hour timing. Now, according to an article I've read here, and I haven't deep dived this thing completely to verify it, but Caleb Downs is not the first. He is also not the second, because according to this article, Garrett Stover in August of 2024 actually tied Jeremiah Smith with 23.2 miles per hour. Is that accurate? I don't know. I haven't been out there to test them myself, but man, if so, that's a whole lot of speed, and we got to find a way to get it on the field. All right, guys. So here we are. Right now, there are no calls in queue. We'll give it another minute or so. If no one calls in, we'll go ahead and wrap up tonight's show. So, hey, guys, in the chat, if you haven't already, go through, give me your top barbecue food for tonight as we are parting this thing out. And if anybody else has any other questions, we can take those. We are going to give it about 60 seconds. If nobody calls in, we will wrap this thing up for the night. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciated it. To all of our veterans out there and active service members, thank you for your service. And of course, thank you to those families who gave the ultimate sacrifice. We did have another number just jump in the queue real quick. So we're going to take this one last call before we call it a night.
Chicken wings. Chicken wings.
You do make some pretty mean chicken wings.
Chicken wings. You know it's chicken wings, and you know it's my steak. Don't argue.
You know, you do make some pretty mean chicken wings. I'm not gonna lie. The steak was tremendous. I'll tell you, Bobby made a burger tonight though that, man, was so good. But I don't know. For me, this is the thing. I am a huge smoked brisket guy as well. But
I know you are. I'm about really gonna make you and everybody else mad though. Ask my wife. I never eat macaroni salad or potato salad at a picnic ever.
Well, I'm not a big macaroni salad guy. I don't like the sweetness. If I'm going to have a potato salad, we talked about earlier, I like it to be a mustard potato salad, maybe a little bit of Miracle Whip in there to add a little bit of zest, and then some finely chopped pickle in there to add like that relish type flavor a little bit. It's really good.
Sarah says you have to have baked beans as well.
I cannot have baked beans. Baked beans make me want. Baked beans look the same going in as they do coming out, I must say. And they smell gross. About the same as well.
Baked beans with hot dogs in them, though. You have to have hot dogs in them.
Eric, I thought you were better than
now,
that, man.
Well, I'm not. two things.
Yes.
Number one, Caden, Dan, whatever he's going by these days, sent me an email.
I'm sure he did.
I kid you not. In the email, says July 25th, all questions will be answered. And with it is a picture of his zero-turn lawnmower.
But
for real.
Is there a picture of the blow-up doll / would-be girlfriend?
No, but what if the lawnmower is the girlfriend? I'm just saying. It is a possibility. I don't know. I said I needed to see video proof or photo proof. That's what he sent me. And then number two, make sure everybody you're following us on Twitter and or Facebook, because tomorrow, as Sean and TG said, we'll be dropping the thumbnail for their huge guest tomorrow. So if you want to know who it's going to be, if you want to know who it's going to be, make sure you're following us on Facebook and or Twitter, and you'll see the thumbnail for tomorrow's big guest, 8 o'clock Eastern. All right, I got to go. I got to prepare for Thursday night. The $1 Million Boggs makes his debut. Everybody's got a price.
The $1 Million Boggs. Okay, Caden Jr., we'll have to check that out. I'm not sure what the $1 Million Boggs is. Is Eric turning into Caden Jr. on us? I don't know. I'm a little frightened by this. So everybody make sure you tune in Thursday night to Eric's live call-in show, and we will find out just what in the hell $1 Million Boggs is. And hey, make sure you tune in tomorrow night, Buckeye Lounge, 8 p.m., right here on the OHIO Podcast Network. And don't forget, this Sunday, we will have our next live roundtable discussion. So, again, everyone, just want to thank you for watching tonight. Appreciate all the calls. You guys are awesome. And we will talk to you next week. Same time, same channel. Have a great night. Go Bucks.